My guest today is Ruslan Bashirli's lawyer Tahir Khanaliyev. Welcome to our studio. Thank you. Tomorrow at 14, Nasimi District Court will hold a court hearing to consider early release of Ruslan Bashirli. When have you filed a motion regarding this issue? We filed an appeal on August 10, 2011. According to criminal legislation, only prisoners are eligible to file such an appeal. I was in the prison number 1, where Ruslan Bashirli is kept, and helped him to file an appeal and register it accordingly. And then I appealed to Nizami District Court on August 10, 2011. And I learned that the appeal filed by Ruslan Bashirli has already been registered by Nizami District Court. Since when he has been in prison, and a number of amnesties have been granted by the president so far, which allowed a number of prisoners go free. Why hasn't any amnesty been granted to release him? First of all, please speak about the time when he was arrested. Ruslan Bashirli was arrested on August 4, 2005. For 6 years he has been in prison, and 11 months and 16 days were left for his release. Based on the criminal legislation, periods of the early release have been defined according to the crime categories. According to the legislation, a person who committed grave crime may be released if he has already passed 3/4 of the sentence period in prison. And I want to mention that 9 months have already passed since that time. He would file an appeal and could use this right, but for several reasons he couldn't. However, now he filed an appeal, and we consider that there is no any obstacle to put hindrance on his early release. International organizations, local human rights defenders repeatedly called the government to release Ruslan Bashirli, and they registered him as a political prisoner. For what reasons hasn't Ruslan Bashirli been released so far? Have you conducted investigations to define the reason? Well, to tell the truth, I have not carried out any investigation, but according to criminal legislation, the court must consider the appeal during 10 days, beginning from the day when the appeal was presented, and then the court must make a decision. The appeal must be granted or denied. According to the legislation, the appeal must be taken into consideration. On August 10, 2011, I went to Nizami District Court and familiarized with the case, and I revealed that the case is based on subjective criteria, and it can be clearly seen that the government was not going to release Ruslan Bashirli. So, can you speak about his case? What crimes has he committed? I want to mention that according to the legislation, after the appeal is filed, both the case of the prisoner and consideration about him must be submitted to the court, and the person who filed the appeal is eligible to familiarize himself with all the case and other documents. I was at Nizami District Court on August 16, 2011. The case is being considered by the judge Rauf Aliyev, and I wanted to have a look at the documents, and the judge said that the case was not sent to him. I have no idea for what reasons he told me that, but the consideration states that Ruslan Bashirli received reprimand on October 18, 2006, and until December 15, 2011, he has received a reproach. Since that time, he has received no any reproach, because during 4 years he behaved very well in prison, haven't violated the orders. There's no criminal element in his case, and in this case he shouldn't be released. What do you expect from the court? Do you think that the court carried out fair and just investigation? I have been working as a lawyer for 14 years. I can say that there is no real government division in Azerbaijan. Courts are not independent. I consider that the court will not release Ruslan Bashirli unless the government will order them to do so. And also I want to say that there is no legal evidence that put hindrance on Ruslan Bashirli's early release. People think that Ruslan Bashirli wouldn't appeal to the court if the government didn't want to do so. What is your opinion about it? Has the government involved in his appeal? I want to inform you that I had conversations with Ruslan Bashirli, and he always wanted to use his rights and appeal to the court for his early release. Of course, he faced several obstacles regarding this issue. The government didn't give any decision about this issue. Several years ago, media disseminated information about Ruslan Bashirli that His life was under threat. What can you tell me about it? What threats had he faced? Of course he would face threats because he is political prisoner and all the political prisoners are being threatened by the government. If Nizami District Court doesn't carry out fair investigations, will you appeal to other court instances or you don't think about it? We absolutely appeal to other instances. We have the right to file an appeal against the decision of the court. And if we are not satisfied with the decision, we have the right to appeal to the Supreme Court during 1 month. And we will do it if we are not satisfied with the decision. If you are not satisfied with the decision of the Supreme Court, what will you do then? Then we will take the issue to the European Court. Have you ever appealed to the European Court regarding the case of Ruslan Bashirli? Well, I cannot say anything about it because before I have not been involved in his previous cases. I am only involved in the current case of Ruslan Bashirli. Does Ruslan Bashirli think that the court will make a fair decision on him? Well, I think that he believes it because if he doesn't believe that, he wouldn't file an appeal. However, I doubt about court's fair decision because the courts are not independent in this country and they depend on the government. And the government is not going to release the political prisoner Ruslan Bashirli. Thank you for the interview. My guest today was political prisoner Ruslan Bashirli's lawyer Tahir Khanaliyev.